This is how to wow your clients and deliver them life-changing results along the way. Welcome in. This is a live recording of episode 139 of the Client by Client podcast. Let's do this. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, you discovered your authentic voice online. There are many things that can keep you from showing up every day on social media, that will prevent you from putting your best foot forward, that maybe cause you to shell up and even pucker up a little bit when you think about it. But when you find your true voice and you know the consequences of not showing up and what happens to your prospects and your market when you don't show up, this magical thing happens where you become more of yourself. You find a way to cut through all of that mental noise and all of that mental chatter and to actually lead with and to develop and to accept the best parts of you and your personality to bring them to attract in more leads and more clients every single day and week. Be sure to backtrack one episode. If you have been suffering from the imposter syndrome, if you've been procrastinating on putting your pretty face and your amazing sounding voice out on social media, if you just can't get over that resistance, yesterday's episode was made for you. Here today, we're going to wow your customers and your clients, and we're going to put a framework in place, have a little bit of a mental shift along the way so that your clients have the right expectations and so that you have a way of unpacking the timelines and expectations so that your client relationships start off on a smooth note, so that they see a better and bigger future with you and want to continue signing up with you and continue paying you as their online coach, and how to use this as your marketing along the way. Let's start by talking about what happens if you don't get today's episode right. The first thing that happens is that you overpromise your clients on the possibilities and on what to expect. And that's frustrating because when those expectations aren't met and when they don't get those results that you promised them, they are let down and they're going to put the blame on you. Whether or not it was your fault or not, they're going to be pointing the finger at you. And they're either going to ask for a refund, they're going to cancel and stop making their payments, or worse, they're going to speak bad about you and your name to their friends and to other prospects that might be in your market. The second thing that happens is that you miss out on the testimonial and the case study. And that's frustrating because when clients get life-changing results, their story becomes your marketing. And there's no stronger marketing than using the results, the real-life results of your favorite clients. And so you wind up attracting in less leads, your confidence starts to dwindle, and you wind up on the long road with far less clients than you're capable of signing. Now that we know what happens when you don't get today's episode right, let's talk about what to do to actually deliver on this and to set the right expectations and to wow your clients at every step of the way. The first thing that you really have to do is you have to map out the client journey. And what this means is looking at the way they're going to get results, the shifts they're going to have, the key lessons and the key learns they're going to have along the way on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. What you must do is you must get grounded and present with the client journey and find a way, and we're going to give you some ideas here, and find a way for how you deliver that both in your marketing before they become a lead, in your sales prospect, in your sales pipeline, when you're actually working on getting them to become a lead and become a client, and then what that actually looks like on the other end when they have signed up and when they're already in your coaching program. Joe Polish and Dean Jackson have a brilliant way of looking at this that I learned 10 plus years ago, which is the before, during, and after units of your marketing process. And when you have this curated pathway for what to expect and what milestones happen before they become a client, while they're a client, and then even after they're clients, what ends up happening is you have this smooth client journey. And now you can talk to that in your marketing. You can talk to that in your podcasts, in your lives, in your stories, in your emails, in your Facebook group. And when you know what's going on in their minds at these stages, they are going to get that sense that you have been spying on them, that pillow talk factor that we always talk about here, that Dean Jackson way of marketing. And so what you must be thinking about is what happens on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis in their journey without you and in their journey with you. And when you can talk to these things and when you can deliver them on the macro before and during and after, and even in the micro on a sales call when you're unpacking your offer, that's when the rubber really hits the road. So what this might sound like is at the end of your sales call, you haven't revealed the price yet, and they are wondering what's next. One of the things you need to talk about, one of the 6 things that you must unpack in your offer ladder, which we talk about with a great training over in the Leverage Coach group waiting for you to understand all of this. One of those things is the timelines. And so what that might sound like is you ask them, well, where do you think we should go from here? Or something along that. Are you comfortable with where we're at so far? What questions do you have? And they might say, well, what's the price? And you're gonna say, before we talk about price, why don't we talk about timeline? Or they're going to say, well, how does it all work? Well, hey, that's a great question. Why don't we start by talking about the timeline? And then you're going to map this to your coaching program. If you have a 90-day coaching program, you're going to map this piece of the conversation to 90 days. If you have a year-long program, an 18-month, a 36-month program, you're going to map the expectations to this timeline. And you're going to share with them in conjunction with your guarantee. You're going to share this in conjunction with if there's a trial period versus when an actual agreement, when they're locked in, starts, if you operate in this way. And it doesn't have to be as complicated as those things, but as your coaching business evolves, you will want to install these pieces. So if you have a 7-day trial, you might talk about, let's talk about the first 7 days. This is your period where if you're not loving any part of the program, if you feel like I've lied to you, if you feel like that this is just not an energetic match, you have these first 7 days to cancel and there'll be no further payments and we can still be friends. Does that make sense? They're gonna be like, yeah, okay, great. Now let's talk about the first 30 days. In the first 30 days, this is where we're gonna game plan. And then we're gonna present to you your plan of action. And this is also where you're gonna meet your one-on-one coach, or this is also where me and you are gonna be meeting every week or every other week, or you're gonna be coming to the group coaching call. That's month 1. Any questions there? No? Okay, great. Now let's talk about what happens after month 1 between month 2 and month 12 or month 2 and month 6. This is all about the doing stage. For instance, I'm kind of ad-libbing there, but you wanna map this to setting the right expectations and also kind of putting them in the driver's seat of beginning to experience it. So the first thing that you got to do is you got to map out the journey. You got to get grounded in presence with the customer journey. You got to get grounded and present with what happens if they don't have you. And when you can talk to both of those things, and then you also map your coaching program to these timelines, now you're going to have the beginning ingredients to properly position how it is you're best suited to help. Bug in my face, why it is they should sign up now versus waiting, and then also setting their expectations with what it is they're going to get on the other side. So you can also say, here's how it works, here's how you get the program, here's how you deliver it. Some clients get results in the first 24 hours. Some it takes them a little bit longer. That's why this is a program that's mapped out this way, or that's why we do this and that. That's why you have the group coaching call. That's why you have these 4 one-on-one calls that you can use at any point in time. First thing you got to do is map out the journey. The second thing that you really got to get good at and or get away from is you can't be promising the world. It is very easy and a slippery slope to start promising the world in your marketing because you want to sound good. And maybe you lack the kind of confidence and experience from where you're at right now to really understand what is feasible. And what you really got to get grounded and present with is what is realistic, what would be the perfect scenario, and then also knowing what's the worst case scenario. And you want to find a way to talk about this in your marketing, in your policies, in your guarantees, and in your conversations with your prospects so that they don't get the wrong idea. In the Get Clients program, I've had students over the last 3 or 4 years who have gotten $8,000 in the first 30 days of new clients from a standing start. I've had some clients where it takes them far longer. I'm not in control of those things, and you're not in control of the results your clients will get. And you can try your hardest, but if you want it more than they do, things aren't ever going to line up in the right speed, especially not in the picture perfect scenario. So we have some students who come in 72 hours, they've gotten new clients. We have some students who've come in 72 hours, they've gotten leads. And both those clients are equally as happy because those things move the needle in their business. We have some clients who come in and they have to have a whole world change in those first 72 hours, and life comes out them fast because in my industry, I have some people who They need the money right now. They've maybe even invested their last dollars, or they're on credit cards trying to get help from a coach. They've maybe worked with other coaches who they feel have burned them in the past, which is they probably just set the wrong expectations, or the client had the wrong expectations for one reason or another, and they didn't get the result. Now they got to bounce from person to person. This is a theme that happens in this online coaching space. It's just a part of the game in my world. If you're a business coach, I know you can relate. So while there's those people, there's also the people who come in and don't need the money right away, and also therefore will then attract the situations and the money a little bit easier than some of the others. But we digress here. What's important that I do in those situations that you can take away from this is I don't promise the world. And if anyone comes in and they start asking certain questions that would put my radar on alert, I'm also quick to have a deeper conversation about what to expect. For instance, I lead very often with get 3 to 5 new clients. 3 to 5 new clients is doable. It is far simpler than getting clients consistently. It is far simpler than some of these really big promises most coaches make. But even getting 3 to 5 clients for some is really hard, and it takes longer than the 72 hours or the first week or the first 30 days or even the first 90. So what you got to get away from is promising the world. And if you get to a point where you are starting to exaggerate the results or starting to exaggerate what is possible, and it's really hard to know when you're just getting started. I know many of you aren't just getting started, but just have your radar, your spidey sense ready and alert, so that if you have a client who is feeling maybe desperate, maybe needy, maybe like their life is depending on your help, that you find a way to have politely the right conversation and to set the right expectations. Stop promising the world. Lastly, really good coaches simultaneously make their clients feel more confident about the results they're going after, while simultaneously widening the gap between where they're at and where they want to be, making them feel like this is super doable, but I have work to get there. In fact, I've never felt like it's more possible, but I also have my work cut out for me. That's the feeling you want your new clients leaving with. This is the feeling that will help for you to create clients who are hungry for more, that you create a program that gets them as instantaneous results as you possibly can. But you also create a picture in their mind's eye and in their hearts for all of the work that you have left. There is nothing worse than you attracting in an amazing client and they get picture perfect results and then they kind of just go away. And I've had this happen so many times and it's heartbreaking. And those clients are often the best ones that you want to work with, and they're the hardest to land and to also re-land. But really good coaches will lay down the bricks of this paved way of the future, so that these clients, and for all of your clients, they know that, like for me, I lead with 3 to 5 clients, like I just mentioned, like you guys hear me talk about at the end of every episode. But my vision for you is far larger and far bigger than just 3 to 5 clients. It's having this lifestyle that exceeds coaching and that goes far beyond your online business and is far more about serving and impacting the lives of thousands, changing what's possible for you and for your family, getting your health and mind and heart all in order so that you can attract amazing things both in your business and in your life, and so that you can become the agent of change in your family's lineage that broke the curse, that turned things around, that showed everyone else what's possible and made your ancestors proud. That's far bigger than 3 to 5 clients, but I have had some students in the past where they got the 3 to 5 clients and they bounced. They got the 8K and they bounced. They got the 10K and they bounced. They got the 20K, they got the result, and they kind of felt like me and them were even. Like, hey, Jeremy's paid off. The Get Clients program is paid off. I've got the results. And they either go to relaxing, they go back into whatever they were doing. And so when you create a sense of community in your program, and you also show them that there is far more left to be done, this is when you create the recipe for clients who are hungry for more, who do not want to go to another program because they haven't finished yours yet and there's so much more to do. But meanwhile, they're also getting incredible life-changing results along the way. So they're happy, they're implementing, they're coming back for more, they're sharing with the community what's going on, they're learning out loud in your program. And when you do this, you now have the recipe for setting the right expectations, using timelines, and using this idea of the customer journey. And when you do this, what you're gonna find is that your clients are far happier, they're far more understanding, and they're far more patient along the way. In the next episode of Client by Client, we are gonna level up your self belief far beyond what you can currently imagine. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBook CRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox where you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving a lot of money and clients on the table every single week and month? That's why I created GetBook CRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my leads and pipeline and turn prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. To download your free copy and get your free training, just find me on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world, all implementing my methods and strategies for starting and growing an online business and attracting in clients consistently. Get your free invite now by finding me on Instagram and messaging me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So only reply to this if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the human ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year. You would like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media every month without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or Facebook group. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, give that Instagram app a tap, do a search and find me at WhatUpJeremy. Give me a follow, binge on some reels while you're there. And when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the program, how we're already helping and have helped many students from all over the world in dozens of different online niches. And then we'll also identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.